I hope you can still remember this hood from our test in which we had a look at the question if Meguiar's Wash Plus can also remove ceramic coatings, which ceramic coatings, and even professionally applied ceramic coatings. Now in that test we intentionally did not remove all of the ceramic coatings because we wanted to test another thing, which is can those ceramic coatings be damaged or even removed by hand polishing with a finishing polish, and this is exactly what we will do in this video. Stay tuned because this one will be definitely interesting. So as a reminder, because you probably cannot recall what we did in the video where we tested the 6 different ceramic coatings with Meguiar's Wash Plus, we have Liquid Elements Base Coat 9H in 2 layers, topped with 2 layers of Liquid Elements Eco Shield on that section. We have CarPro CQuarz UK 3.0 topped with CarPro Gliss on this section. We then have Surfaces Suave in 1 layer here, in 3 layers there. We have Surfaces Ultima, 1 layer there, 3 layers there. And on the far right section, we have Gtechniq Crystal Serum Light plus Exo V4. So we will now try and push the boundaries of these 6 ceramic coatings. Now the test looks as follows. We did remove or damage the ceramic coatings with Meguiar's Wash Plus in a previous test up until here. I will now afterwards spray water on the test section so you can see that the ceramic coatings actually still work on there. And afterwards I will go over this section above here with a Sonax P-Ball and a very soft finishing pad and just water. I will go over it a few times and then we can see if just water and just a bit of mechanical abrasion can actually damage or remove those coatings. And afterwards I will do the same thing with the P-Ball by hand with this section and the Menzerna 3800, so a very fine finishing polish. I will then wash these 2 sections with a waterless wash. I will then use an IPA in order to make sure that there is nothing left on there which is cleaners or which is polishing residue. And then we will have a look at the ceramic coatings and if a normal, regular, fine hand polish can actually damage them. Let's now talk about the results of this little test. Now, first section, which can be seen by the borders there, this was Crystal Serum Light plus Exo V4. There was the one where we used polish, here just with water. And you see, there's almost no beading left. So this was pretty good. Pretty well attacked in both areas. Now the one with Surfaces Ultima, here in 3 layers, here in 1 layer, there is the taped off section. Now this one is interesting because where we polished with just water, both areas, here in 3 layers, here in 1 layer, were attacked and affected. But here where we used just polish, or not just polish, and additional polish, there it looks pretty strong. I mean, yes, it was attacked if you see the difference to the taped off section, but it clearly is still there. So a professional type of coating applied in 3 layers does actually withstand to some extent a polish, which is interesting. With just one layer, it was pretty well attacked and probably almost removed. I mean, there pretty much still is some sort of protection there, but that's the result for Surfaces Ultima, 1 layer, 3 layers. Surfaces Wave, similar picture. So with 3 layers and polish, there still is some sort of beading left. Where we used just water, both areas were pretty heavily affected. Yeah. Definitely a difference there. And then CarPro CQuarz UK with gliss on top. There's the border, there are the other borders, and both areas where we just used water and where we used polish pretty heavily affected. And there, I would say, almost removed. And then Liquid Elements Base Coat 9H and Eco Shield, each of which we have applied in 2 layers. There is, yeah, there's the taped off section visible. And I think there's almost no difference in between those two, meaning that using just water or using polish both affected this coating as well, which means, as an overall result, all of the coatings were at least affected, if not pretty much destroyed, by just using a hand polish. So this test followed a simple question, which is, can ceramic coatings withstand a hand polish? And the simple answer to that is no. Is this a bad thing for ceramic coatings? No, definitely not. And I prepared a simple but quick model in order to explain you why this is not a bad thing for ceramic coatings. Now this magic sponge, if I put it upwards and then put a Monello knee pad on it in order so that it is balanced, and then put a California car sand tin exactly where the Tapeto Monello writing is, then you see that this whole thing collapses. Now the magic sponge in the upward position stands for a simple protective product such as a sealant or a wax, which can withstand some sort of mechanical, chemical or thermal influences, but not too much. Now if I put the magic sponge in the flat position, apply the Monello knee pad on top of it, then you can see I can actually put a whole California car sand tin on the exact same position and the whole model does not collapse. It needs a second tin in order for it to collapse, and that's exactly what ceramic coatings stand for. They can withstand greater forces of mechanical, of chemical and of thermal influences, but there is a limit to what they can withstand. And this is exactly what we always tell you about ceramic coatings. Yes, they are the strongest form of protection you can apply to your paint, but ceramic coatings also are just a form of semi-permanent protection, which means with time, with enough forces of mechanical, thermal or chemical influences, they will degrade and they will be removed over time, and they cannot withstand forces which are simply too strong, which is exactly what happened when we used a hand polish. We also saw that a professionally applied coating in 3 layers, something like Surfaces Ultima, can withstand something like a polish. However, this is not something we encourage you to do or which you should do, because the only reason you would go over a coating with a polish is in order to remove it, and that's definitely something to keep in mind, because this was only an experiment to test how strong ceramic coatings really are. And once again, we showed you that there is a limit of what they can withstand in terms of mechanical influences. Now, if you thought this video was interesting, leave us a thumbs up. That would be something we would be very happy about, and we hope to see you next time. Until then, bye.